Hey everybody, I spoke on a panel last night in Minneapolis, and the way that the panel was set up, the people in the audience had an opportunity to type in questions. And the moderator asked us a question about burnout. And for the first time ever, I've been able to bring my book to an event because I had just hit approve 90 minutes before the event started on this. And I wrote a book about burnout, so I had a lot to say about that. And one of the audience members asked the question, "Hey, what does burnout feel like?" And this is a long list because I want you to know it doesn't feel the same for everyone. There are a couple of things that many people feel, like there's not enough time to do what you want to do. There are too many things to do. A sense of overwhelm generally comes with it. Many people have a hard time sleeping and staying asleep. And a lot of people just feel exhausted, and particularly that it's hard to find the energy that used to always be so easy to have to get yourself to work. And then there's a whole bunch of things that different people experience. And I just want to share a couple of those with you. For some of you, if you connect with the type that might be called the perfectionist, and in the book, this is Olive, the perfectionist, it might be a sense as you're falling asleep that your inner critic brings up every moment of your day when you did something not quite totally right, or that you made an error, or that you sent an email that might have had an error in it. That inner voice will really rehash everything that you might have done wrong during the day in a very, very aggressive and stressful way. If you're somebody like Tripp, who's in this book, who's called the hero, it might be a sense of dread of meeting with a new person who's proposing an idea to you because you know maybe that the idea doesn't align with your business, but you feel like you're probably going to end up taking it on anyway. See, Tripp tends to take on way more things than he can handle. He's really good at taking things on. He's really strong and he has a lot of energy. So burnout for him starts to feel like dread about meeting people with new ideas. It starts to feel like the sense that there's never enough time in the day. It feels like an ever increasing pressure to be more and more and more efficient. And resentment tends to come along with that for Tripp, that others just don't step up for him the way that he steps up for them. If you connect a little bit more with the researcher type, Fiona in this book, burnout can feel like a lot of hurt feelings compiling on top of themselves all of the time because you're really misunderstood, and that you might put a lot of pressure on yourself to explain more, to read another book, to gather another data source, to synthesize more information. And that's perpetuated by people understanding you even less. For Fiona, for the researcher type, it can feel really like a lack of energy, that it's hard to move into doing things, that maybe you're more often than you used to be, you're kind of perpetually stuck in the same place. And for Eisen, the fourth person in the book, he's the motivator type. So Eisen is really good at being in action and moving. He sees the future very clearly, and he understands all 10,000 steps in an ordered list about how to get there. And he barks orders out. So what burnout can feel like for Eisen is a real lack of energy. He's always been able to draw on what he thought was an infinite well of energy. And he might start to feel just really tired. It might show up with Eisen as a very, very short fuse to an explosive temper. It might show up to him that he really goes inward and kind of shuts down, especially from the people that are closest to him. It also comes out sideways with Eisen. He might really shout at people, and he's always wants to motivate people, but the motivating might cross a line and it might start to get a little bit too aggressive. Sometimes with Eisen, with the motivator type, the people closest to you start backing away, withdrawing, or resigning. So burnout can feel like a myriad of things. Me personally, I burned out twice. One of them was a stroke at work that felt like going to the emergency room with the worst headache I've ever had. The second one was a lot more ambiguous than that. I was in a huge dream job, a job that I loved so much. And I found that I just couldn't get there. It was really hard to get there in the morning. It was really hard to stay motivated during the day. It was hard to find excitement about things that I knew intellectually I was really into. It really felt a little bit like I was walking around in the world with 3 soaking wet wool blankets over my head all of the time. So, what does burnout feel like? You might connect with that whole huge list of things that I gave you. It might feel a little bit different for you. It might be a sense that there's too many open items, that you'll never get it all done, that you'll never hit the standard of quality, that what you're doing is impossible. It shows up in different ways. For 4 of the types, the perfectionist, the hero, the researcher, and the motivator, I've got a lot more information in here. There's 4 tools that I put into this book that might help a lot of you, and I paired them with the personality type that they helped the most. And for a while, this book won't be commercially available, but I have set up a link where you can pre-order it. I will sign it and write a personal note to you, and any extra money that I don't spend on shipping and packaging and stuff is going to go right into my scholarship fund, where I help people who need a little bit of a financial assistance get into live programs. So I will drop the link below. You can order as many copies as you want. They probably won't arrive to you until the end of April or so. The book will be commercially available early May, probably, maybe late April if we're lucky. And it will be available for less of a price if you wait until it's commercially available. The pre-order has a little bit of a premium price on it. So talk about burnout. Ask questions about it. People don't talk about it enough. There's also a sense of shame and guilt that goes around with it. I'm so glad that that audience member asked that question last night, because I know other people wanted to ask it. Have the conversation. Check in with your boss, check in with your coworkers, check in with your loved ones. In a time where everything is flying around right now, maybe you didn't have burnout at work. You might just have burnout from what's going on in the news cycle and in the world. Check in on your people and know that you don't have to keep living like this, even though it might feel like you're on a path that you can't get off of. I help people get off of this path every day. Burnout doesn't have to be a condition that you live with forever, but you do have to choose wellness. It won't go away on its own. More soon.